So with the most recent update to Tekken 8, they finally added photo mode. Now, in my opinion, this should have been there with release, but you know, Namco, right? So, I took it upon myself to go on Twitter just to see, Lydia and all that stuff. And I saw that people uploaded some pictures and they didn't look too great. So, I re downloaded Tekken 8, for instance, and experimented, and I was able to create this. So, if you want to go ahead and learn how to make photos like this, I'm gonna go ahead and teach you. So, let's do it. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and show you some settings that you're gonna have to tweak so you can get the best of photo mode. So go ahead and go to options, and scroll down to graphic settings, and then post processing quality. Now, it depends on your build of your PC, whichever one you choose, but I like to go to medium since, it gives me the best quality of photo that I'm looking for while not being too heavy for my computer. So when you go ahead and do that, go on and head on to practice mode. So when you hit up practice mode, you want to go ahead, well, for instance, I'm going to be using the beach stage because this is a perfect stage for this example. So there is an option in restart settings called stage environment, and that's for this stage exclusively. So you have three choices. One is day, which you see right here, evening and night. For this example, I'm going to be choosing evening. When you choose that, go ahead and restart the stage, and you have this beautiful sunset that I love so very much. Alright, so when you go ahead and do that, go ahead and go down to the bottom. You'll see photo mode is right there, and you're immediately in there. Now, the reason why I told you to change your post processing to medium or whatever your build is made out of is because, as you can see, as you get close to Azucena, I'm not trying to be a pervert here, I'm just showing you an example. As you get closer to the character, you can see that the background blurs as it focuses on the object at hand, which in case is, the character or whatever it's looking at this moment. I don't know why Ling is blurry here, but yeah. So that's why I told you to change that option to medium or high or ultra, because it gives you certain effects that you wouldn't have if you had it on low. To look at these settings, go ahead and press start. You have a whole bunch of settings here. Now, to make things simple, I'm gonna go ahead and try to explain each tab. So this tab is mainly the camera in itself. So you have wide angle, you got battle, standard, and telephoto, and super telephoto. These are pretty much zoom options. You can autofocus is like you pick a character you want to focus on. So let's say you focus on player 1, which is Azu, or player 2, which is Ling, and it'll focus on that character specifically. And then, these things you'll have to mess with. But that pretty much blurs the auto adjust focus. That pretty much blurs the background, as you can see it being blurred. The more you go to the left, the more it blurs the entire thing. The more you go to the right, it kind of doesn't really do anything. So again, you'll have to fiddle with these to see what you like. The next one is display settings. Now this one is interesting because the first setting here is display character. You can now take the character out of the screen entirely, which is perfect for when you want to, let's say, display Azucena doing a move like this. And you don't want Ling on the screen. Let me do this. There you go. And you don't want Ling on the screen. Well, you can just take her out completely and she's gone forever. And so you can display the kick and you won't have to worry about the second character being there. She's still going to be there. As you can see, the camera is still reacting to the character model, but she is not there for the picture. Let me go ahead and move my camera. Sorry. Alright, now that I've moved my camera to the appropriate place, I can go ahead and go on. Now these I won't go through every single one of them. They're pretty much for your experimentation, but I'll just pretty much go through the basics of them all. So as I showed you, you can take both characters. You can take one character, two characters, both of them out, so you can display the map or the stage, which is really cool. And yeah, you can mess with these and see what you like. The next one is adjusting color, white balance, all that stuff, all general stuff. Filters. So you got your grayscale, you got a whole bunch of different settings that you can fiddle around with, and this the slider down here enhances the strength. So let's say I put it to 7 and go through. As you can see, the saturation is insane on 3, and as you go down, you'll see the more you put it to the left, you'll get less of effect. Put it to the right, you'll get an insane post-apocalyptic effect on filter 9, which is really sweet. So go ahead and fiddle around with that, vignette, which is the dark circle around the picture. Go ahead and fiddle around with that and see what you like. We're gonna put it off for now. Bloom is pretty much, so go ahead and focus on that sun. As you can see, the sun, if I have it down, it's normal, right? Put it up, it pretty much feathers the lighting of picture or lights. So if I go ahead and look up here, you see how the lights are very vibrant, alive, feathery. That's what bloom does. So that's a very cool thing to have. And dirt mask is pretty much like lens flare, but it gives a very cool effect. So you can go ahead and get funky with those and see what you like. Lens flare. I'm actually going to be back. I have to adjust the setting. And hey, I'm back. Bet you didn't know I was gone. So I actually had to put my post-processing to high so I can go ahead and show you more effects. That's the main reason why you would want to put the post-processor as high as you can so you can get all the effects here. So lens flare is self-explanatory on lens flare with, you see that? Ooh. Ooh. Very nice, very nice. Chromatic aberration is blur with color in them. So as you can see, if you can see, like on the edges of the character, you'll see that it's blurry, but also it's kind of like the, oh yeah, you can see it on Ling very much too. Like kind of like drunk vision. So, in movies where you see a person gets like crazy or takes some drug and they're all like, ooh, that kind of brings this effect. It's psychedelic effect. So that's what chromatic aberration is. And noise, kind of like a TV sort of looking thing. So if you want something like that, you can go ahead and fiddle with that. All right, and water drops. Now this is a very interesting. So I would guess you would want to use it for the beach because there's water, but you can use it for any other stage, I guess, the one with rain. But if you adjust this setting, you'll get an array of water drops, and these, the slider here adjusts how much water is on the screen. So depending on which setting you have, you'll have a whole bunch of water, and you can blur it out as well to give like a glass window effect. Yeah, you can go ahead and fiddle with that. Yeah, so that's the basics, and now I'm going to go on to the next thing. So next we're going to talk about the controls of the camera. So very basic, left stick moves the camera around, right stick moves the point of view. Square, which is a very interesting feature here, it lets you, I guess, cinematically move around the point of interest so you can get that perfect angle, get that perfect angle to snap a perfect picture. As you can see, it's very cinematic if you just like spin around here, and you can toggle it on and off to go to omnidirectional and then just full 360. L1, you can speed up. So if you're moving slowly like this, you can hold L1 to speed up the camera. R1 you can actually move up and down, because normally when you're using the left stick you can only move like left to right in a circle and whatever. So if you hold R1, you'll go ahead and go up and down when you use the left stick. And then let's see, triangle and X, you can look up and down. Well, you can pretty much use the right stick. Don't use any of that. You can just use the right stick to look up and down just like normal. But the different thing here is L2 and R2. You can tilt the camera so you can get, once again, those very cinematic shots. Let me just, oh my god. There you go. Yeah, you can get something like that. A little cool little tilted shot of Azucena with the lights in the background. So yeah. Alright, that is the basics of the camera controls. Oh, and also you can click R3 to get rid of the menu, because I know as you're taking pictures or just like doing something in general, you'll have those annoying little things at the bottom there, and it kind of gets in the way when you're like recording and stuff or whatever. So you can just click R3 and just quickly get rid of that stuff. Okay, so we're gonna ditch the characters for a minute and talk about lighting and some filters. So what you want to do is go ahead to adjust color, which is the third tab from the left, and we're just gonna mess with the settings real quick. So you can do a few things. You can pretty much make whatever scene you wish, depending on the mood. So I have a few examples here that I've made myself. So if you kind of want a sunset type of deal, you can go ahead and adjust them like this. And what that does is create a very nice, like 8 o'clock sort of setting. It looks really nice. Go ahead and reset that. If you want a foggy Silent Hill type of deal, you can go ahead and adjust like this. And it kind of gives a little fogginess in the distance. Really looks nice. Not really Silent Hill, but gives a sense of fog. Okay, and if you want to make it a little bit dramatic and cinematic, go ahead just like this. Kind of looks like a, oh my god, what's going on? As you can see, the people in the background, they're like, Jesus Christ, what's going on, bro? What's going on? Something kind of looks like something exploding off in the background. Really nice. I'm gonna reset. So there's a filter on here. It's filter 9. And I believe this is a very interesting filter. Now I tried to replicate this, but unfortunately, this is the best I could come up with. So something like that. So this is like the closest you can get to replicating that type of filter. Kind of again like the sunset, but as you can see, there's this purple hue in here, and it really gives an authentic evening sort of glow. It really looks cool. It's a shame you can't play on the map with it looking like this in photo mode. That would have been very interesting, but of course it would have had to be in practice mode. But yeah, those are some examples for adjusting the color. And of course the filters, they are pre-made, so you can go in there and adjust them to your liking. And a vignette, of course, they got a lot of filters. Some of them kind of look a little light depending on how you look at them. Not really too strong, but 8 and 9 are like, 9 specifically is like apocalyptic, which is insane. So go ahead and fiddle around with those, see which one you like, and go on from there. All right, so now we're gonna get into making action shots. So I have an example here. Azucena doing lib 1+2 on Ling here. So essentially with action shots, you kind of want to portray a sort of emotion of, ooh, something cool is happening. And the way that you adjust the filters and settings here, you can further insinuate that emotion. So with this example, I'm going to go ahead and go up at this angle right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through as I'm editing this. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to put emphasis on Ling. So to do that, I'm going to adjust the adjust focus. So the focus is on Ling, as you can see, and the background is blurry and stuff. A little bit more right there. Yep. So 1.0 is good for that. Blur is fine where it needs to be. I guess for a little bit more effect, I can let's see, put it on the filter that I showed you before, which is like this. A little purple going on. Okay, and next I'm gonna add some bloom to insinuate the hit effect there. Lens flare, you don't have to mess with that too much. Dirt mask, you put that up, as you can see, the little purple little dirt little specks on the light there as you're messing with the camera. That's real nice. Okay, so next, chromatic aberration. Could put a little bit on there, just a little bit, maybe 0.5 to further, like, put a little punch in this action scene right here. Water drops, not necessary, but yeah, go ahead and hide. There you go. Now that is a good picture. I'm actually gonna save this picture. It looks pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to get into composition, which is pretty much the style of picture you want to take. For this example, I'm going to be showing you rule of thirds. Now, rule of thirds is essentially a photographer term for the main focus of the photo is out of the center line by a couple of degrees. So if I go ahead and put on the grid, rule of thirds is essentially the main focus of the picture is in the 2/3 region of the center line. So you got the center and then the off to the right or to the left, which either side, it doesn't matter. So if you have the main object that is filling up these two sectors here, pretty much in the center or something like that, then you have pretty much a rule of thirds shot. It's a very good shot for when you want to fill in this void space here with something like text or what have you. But having a rule of thirds shot is very popular and is used like in lots of thumbnails in cinema photography today, and has been for many years. Another example of the rule of thirds shot is this here. As you can see, Ling is off to the center, or off the center by a couple degrees. She is in the 2/3 section of the photo. Of course, she is the main focus of the picture, and as you can see, Azucena is blurred in the background doing her thing. So this is another rule of thirds shot that conveys a sort of emotion. You really got to get creative when you make photos, and photos like this, they tell stories, and that is your main focus when you're doing stuff like this. You want to tell a story, like what's going on here. What I would gather from this is Azucena being menacing from behind, and Ling's like, what the hell is going on, stuff like that. You kind of want to make the person that is on looking this picture to think, what is the story here, what's going on? So for the final tip that I'll give you guys is character expression. When you're making photos in Tekken 8, you don't really want to have the character sitting there looking all boring, not doing anything. You want to have them looking cool, doing something action-packed or whatever, depending on which kind of photo you're trying to take. So, in this instance, I have Azucena doing her thing in the background in the way that I want, right? This is similar to the first photo that I've showed in the beginning of the video, and I'm gonna go ahead and edit this to get it as close as I can to the previous picture. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward to, because I know it's gonna take a while, so feel free to pause the video to check out any settings that you think are helpful in any way, and let's do it. Alright, and there you have it. To be quite honest, I think this came out a lot better than the first one, judging by how the lens flare and all the stuff looks. Man, doing this is such a passion of mine. I love editing photos and editing in general. So if you just look at the full thing, look at that. Beautiful. I'm actually going to screenshot this as well because that is just magnificent. But again, I hope these tips help you make better pictures so you won't be posting some static dude just sitting there like this. You know, spice up your pictures, give them some life, give them the love that you deserve. You like your main, right? Okay, well, take pictures like you mean it. Right, so hope you enjoyed. Let's see those pictures.